Welcome once again to my YouTube channel Spark. So as I mentioned in my previous video, we have covered Unit 1 of our syllabus. And now we are going to discuss each topics of Unit 2 in my upcoming videos. So dear friends, thanks for your support and I hope you all can benefit from this video lectures. And I expect your comments and suggestions in this regard. And if you find this channel useful, please subscribe my channel and please do recommend to your friends. Thank you and let us begin our session. Today we are going to discuss the topic sociological concepts. First we can discuss about social structure. Social structure is basically a concept for the proper understanding of the society. So the concept social structure which helps us to understand more about society. And this social structure is composed of both social institutions and its patterns of institutionalized relationship. And we can also say that social structure is a living structure which is created and maintained for a time and changes. So we can say social structure as a living structure also. Then Herbert Spencer. He was the first writer to throw light on the structure of society. And he came up with biological analogies, that is organic structure and evolution, and which helps to define social structure. So Herbert was the first writer to throw light on the structure of the society. So next we are going to discuss about one of the important definitions on social structure, which is given by Ginsberg. The study of social structure is concerned with the principal forms of social organization, that is, types of groups, associations, and institutions, and the complex of these which constitute society. So it's more about the principal forms of social organization, that is, types of groups, associations, and institutions. And we can say like social structure, they are typically referring to macro level social forces, including social institutions and the pattern of institutionalized relationships. And we can say social structure can be both formal and informal. According to McIver and Page, government agencies, political parties, schools, labor unions, all these complete organizational picture includes formal blueprint arrangements and informal are always spontaneous grouping. Next we can discuss about social institution. A social institution which consists of a group of people who come together for a common purpose. So in social institution we can see a group of people who have come together for a common purpose. And sociologists agrees that the institution arise and persist because of a definite felt need of members of a society. So because of the felt need of the members of the society, institutions are arise and persist. And social institutions are established a set of norms and subsystems and that support each society's survival. So each society's survival is depends on the norms and subsystems which are established by social institutions. And next we can say these institutions are part of social order of the society and they govern behavior and expectations of individuals. So these institutions are a part of social order and which govern the behavior and expectations of the individual. There are different types of social institutions which come within a set of rules and norms. Actually, there are 5 primary institutions. They are family, economics, religion, education, and state. We can say like there are macro social institutions and micro social institutions. For example, of macro social institution as a state and family as a micro social institution. And we have already discussed about 5 primary institutions like family, economics, religion, education and state. and there are number of secondary institutions derived from each of the primary institutions. Like secondary institutions derived from family, which would be marriage, divorce, monogamy, polygamy, etc. And secondary institutions of economics are property, trading, credit, banking, etc. So we can say that there are number of secondary institutions which are derived from each of the primary institutions. And these social institutions that constrains and control, punish and reward. And there are formal and informal social institutions in societies. The institutions such as family, religion are the examples of informal social institutions, while law and education are the formal social institutions. So these are about the concept social institution. So next we can discuss about social group. As you all know, according to Aristotle, man is a social animal and our behavior and personalities are shaped by the group which we are belong. So a group is the one of the important concept in sociology. So social group is any collection of people who share common interest and reason for being together. And we can say that some groups are formed naturally and others are organized for a particular purpose. So we can say that social group is any number of people who share common goals and beliefs. And next we can move to a small definition by McEwen Page. A group is a collection of human beings who are brought into social relationship with one another. It's a simple definition on social group. It's a group is any collection of human beings who are brought into social relationship with one another. And the characteristics shared by the members of the group may be include interests, values, representations, ethnic or social background. And a society is made up of various types of groups which are similar or different from each other. The classification of these groups can be done on the basis of social interaction or degree of equality of interaction, degree of intimacy of contact, range of interest group and duration of interest, and degree of organization, and of course size. And classification by C.H. Cooley as social groups are divided into two major types, that is primary and secondary groups. The group characterized by intimate face-to-face association or cooperation are primary groups, like for example family, friends, etc. There we can see an intimate or face-to-face relationship or association or cooperation among the members. So we can say that it is a primary group. And in the secondary group, there are less intimate personal relationship and inclusive, and it involves indirect interaction between the members. For example, workplace. There and all we can see an inclusive relationship or indirect interaction. So we can say as a secondary group. It's all about the concept social group. Next we can discuss about socialization. Socialization is a process which continues from generation to generation. It starts with the birth of an individual and continues till death and even after death. So, socialization is the multifaceted process through which individuals learn and internalize cultural norms, codes, values, etc. Through the socialization, all the individuals learn and internalize their culture, norms, codes, and values, etc. And through this process of socialization, a child learns to behave as per the expectations of the society. So the process of socialization helps a child to learn and to behave as per the expectations of the society. And socialization is transmitted both formally and informally. Formal transmission of socialization is take place through direct instructions and education, as in schools, colleges and religious institutions. However, informal transmission is take place through folkways, customs, culture, values, etc. And we can say socialization helps to control our behavior. This control through the process of socialization is exercised to maintain a social order in the society. And socialization is the process of cultural learning and social development, whereby a new person acquires necessary skills and education to play a regular part in the social system. So it's about socialization. Next we can discuss about one of the important concepts, social control. Social control is one of the most fundamental subjects of sociological discussion, and the term social control is widely used in sociology to refer social process by which the behavior of an individual or group is regulated. So the term social control is used to refer the social process by which behavior of individuals and group is regulated. And the social control is needed for maintaining a social order. So, what do you mean by social order? Social order refers to a system of people, relationship, and customs, all these together operating smoothly to accomplish the work of the society. So, social order refers a system of people, relationship, and their customs, and all these together operate smoothly to accomplish the work of the society. And we can say social control is nothing but control of the society over individuals in order to maintain the organization and the order of the society. Here, a man has to kept under some sort of social control. And this control is necessary in order to have desired behavior from the individual and enable him to develop social qualities. And methods of social control can be broken into two types, informal and formal. Formal means a social control comes from institutions such as law, legislation, military force, administrative devices, political, educational, economic, etc. And in the informal, it is a social control is often maintained by informal mechanisms such as public opinion, sympathy, sense of justice, norms, values, folkways, custom, religion, morality, fashion, etc. So it's about informal and formal social control. And social control which aims at bringing about conformity, solidarity, and continuity of a particular group or society. Next, we can discuss about the concept social change. The term social change refers to changes taking place in the human society. Basically, the changes in human interactions and interrelations indicate social change. So, the factors like human interaction and interrelation indicate social change. And we can say society is the network of social relationship. Hence, social change obviously implies a change in the system of social relationship. Next, we are going to discuss about one of the important definitions on social change which was given by Kingsley Davis. By social change is meant only such alterations as occur in social organization, that is, structure and function of the society. So Kingsley Davis says that social change is only the alterations as occur in the social organization, and which is the structure and function of the society. And we can say abolition of sati, child marriage as some of the examples for social change that was happened in our society. And next we can move to some of the important characteristics of social change. Social change is universal, social change is continuous, social change is temporal, social change is way to planned or unplanned, social change result from interaction of number of factors. So social change is universal. Actually, you know that change is universal law of nature. So, social change occurs in all societies and at all times. No society remains completely static. So we can say that social change is universal. Next is social change is continuous. Social change is an ever-changing phenomena, and society is the subject to continuous change, and these change cannot be stopped. So we can say that social change is continuous. Next is social change is temporal. That means time is the most important factor and social change denotes time sequence. So that a social change is temporary or permanent on the basis of time. So that we can say that social change is temporal. Next, social change is way to planned or unplanned. That is, social change takes place sometimes with planning and sometimes without planning. The social change which occur in a natural course, that is called unplanned change. Unplanned changes are spontaneous, accidental and product of sudden decision. Usually that kind of changes resulting from natural calamities like flood, drought, volcanic eruption, etc. And in the unplanned change, we can say that there is an inborn tendency of human being that they desire change. So sometimes plans, programs, projects are made effective by them to bring change in the society. This is called planned change. As it is consciously and deliberately made, it is very possibly to have control on speed and direction of change. For example, 5-year plans made by the government. We can say that as a good example for planned social change. So we can say that social change may be planned or unplanned. Next is social change results from interaction of a number of factors. As you all know, there are a number of factors which leads to social change like demographic factors, technological, cultural, biological, ideological, educational and economic. These are the important factors which leads to the social change. And social change refers to the modifications which take place in the life pattern of the people. And it occurs because all societies are in a constant state of disequilibrium. And in social change means human change which take place in the life pattern of people. Basically, it refers to the change in the social relationship. So these are about social change. To conclude, there are different terms which are used in our daily life but have some specific meanings in sociology also. And it is necessary for all of us to understand the meaning and definition of such concepts, and in every scientific discipline it is continuously developing a refined set of concepts. We can see a large number of concepts which are similarly understood by all sociologists. So some of the important concepts that we discussed today was social structure, social group, social control, socialization, social change, etc. So, I hope this session will help you to understand more about the basic concept of sociology. So, for the next session, I would like to discuss you with one of the important topics which is coming under Unit 2, that is approaches to the study of society, that is functionalist, conflict or dialectical, structuralism and postmodernism. So, don't miss my next video. Please do subscribe my channel and support me. And if you have any suggestions, give me a comment. So keep learning and prepare well for your exam. So we see you on next video. Bye.